When I need to impress someone with a gift, I go straight to 1-800-Flowers. There's a reason they've spent 50 years as the floral authority. Every stem is hand-selected by a vetted florist, and with same-day delivery nationwide, 100% satisfaction guaranteed. That's why millions go to 1-800-Flowers to celebrate life's most important moments. Order now for up to 40% off. Don't miss out on this limited-time offer. Act now and save up to 40% at 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast.
Hi sailors, and welcome to a new podcast here on explorenorth.no. I'm your host, Jon Antrup. First, a little update. As usual, I've just released a new book in English. It's a English version of Norwegian one, and it's called The Art of Hanging by the Hook, Practical Advice on How to Anchor. You can buy it on Amazon as Kindle, or you can buy it in print version in the same online store. I'll link it up in the text. There's also still available places in my high latitude sailing course, which takes place in the end of February next year in Bodø, well above the Arctic Circle. So check out explorenorth.no and see if you want to join. Now we're going to talk to Lauric, who has been sailing in the high latitudes for over 500 days with his partner now. They bought a now over 50-year-old Dufour 35 in France. Their first boat didn't have much sailing experience, had 2 years of training, testing the boat, and then set sail for Patagonia. And the young couple wanted to explore wild places, and that's what they got in Patagonia. And they have a fantastic YouTube channel. I'll link it up in the text to this podcast. It's called Sailing to Paya, and he takes amazing videos and really inspiring. So I always wanted to go to Patagonia. Now I definitely have to go to Patagonia after seeing the videos and talking to Lauric. So enjoy this podcast, and maybe I'll see you in Patagonia.
I see the small village of Rikitea, which is in the Gambia island, and it's raining at the moment, but it's not too bad either. And we are surrounded by about 8 boats, but so we haven't seen that many boats in like 2 years.
You haven't seen that many boats, and you haven't been. You have had a lot of more clothing on, haven't you?
Yeah. It's I'd say I'm quite happy to leave the jacket off, but it's quite a good change. Now we're back in the warm weather.
Yeah, because people, I don't know about people, but sailors and adventurers, and you have a lot of followers on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, I'd say that's pretty nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you call yourself a YouTuber?
No. We don't earn any money with the YouTube, so I don't think I can call myself that.
No, because you got my attention because of your beautiful movies or YouTube films from Patagonia, and where you actually spent 500 days.
Yes, a bit more if you count the Argentinian section, but roughly, it's a year and a half, more or less.
Nice. But before we get to Patagonia, can you tell us a little bit about your sailing background?
Well, it's going to be short because I don't have much. We just bought the boat with my girlfriend now, 6 years ago now. We bought it in Brittany, in France, and we never really sailed before, so we just learned on the spot by doing. And we first the idea was just to see if the life on board was something we liked, and the idea was also to use the sailboats as a platform, not sailing for sailing, but just to travel remote places with a relatively low budget. So that was the idea, and so we went to Norway actually for the first trip. We made a lot of mistakes, but somehow we managed to get back to our port in France, and it was kind of nice. We liked it, and we decided to continue with it. So we spent, I think, 2 more years sailing in Northern Europe, exploring, Scotland and Faroe Islands, stuff like that. And then we decided to go back to French Polynesia because that's where I grew up. But both of us didn't really want to go the usual route because that's not something we were interested in, and we were really interested in sailing to Patagonia. So that's what we did.
Nice. So you took the long route, the backward way.
Yeah, but it's not the same as the real hardcore sailor used to do. So it's this. We just went. So we crossed from the Shetland to. Sorry for the pronunciation,
No.
but it was Geirangefjord, I think.
Yep.
And then south. So just the southern part, basically.
Yeah. Nice. How did you find it?
Beautiful. Now it was the forest was the first sailing trip, first time in this part of Norway. Just really nice sailing, and I think it's a good. When I think back about this, I think it was a good way to start because it's so beautiful, and it's also quite convenient because you have the marinas. It's kind of safe. It's remote, but it's not as remote as other places. So you kind of have a perfect playground to start with that part of Norway. Actually, I don't know the northern part, but looks pretty good as well.
Yeah, you should come there up here one more time. What kind of boat did you end up with?
So the boat is a Dufour 35, Dufour 35, sorry. So it's a series boat, fiberglass, made in France. It's more than 50 years old now, but it's still holding up pretty well. And yeah, that's what we could afford with our budget, and we made a few improvements. We quite an extensive refit as well, and we went with it.
Because we're talking about 7,500 nautical miles to get to Patagonia from northern Brittany, right? Something like that. That's your numbers. 700. At 7,500.
Yeah, if you don't go on the straight line, definitely.
Yeah. Sailors seldom do. Because most people would stop. A lot of people dream about sailing to Patagonia, including me, and they end up searching for the perfect boat. But there's a saying that the perfect boat is the boat you got, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So how did you refit her?
Yeah, well, the main things we did was first of all, there was a big crack in the hull, so we fixed that. And also because of the little experience we had every time we sailed north in Europe, we kind of had roughly a good idea of what we wanted. So we added diesel stove. We tried to insulate the hull, but it didn't work at all because it's too complicated with the way that sailboat is constructed. You can't really isolate unless you break everything and take it back as it was. So was too much work, so we didn't insulate the hull or anything. And then we just rebuilt the electrical systems, changed the electronics, fitted a stay sail as well, which turned out to be quite useful in Patagonia. And stuff with the anchor, got a lot of stuff that we did by ourselves, which I think was important as well, because we were able to fix it whenever we had a problem. So yeah, nothing really fancy or big, but just what we thought was necessary and practical and was fitting in our budget.
Yeah. How did you research Patagonia to know what to expect as sailors?
We didn't research very much, to be honest.
Cool.
But so our main source of information were two neighbors we had in Brittany, in the port, and they had lived there for 5 years, sailing as well. So they definitely sold us the destination. And every time we went there on the boat for a drink or anything, we just talked about Patagonia and the things to do and not to do. And they had kind of a similar boat. They had an Endurance 35. I don't know if you
Yeah, I know them.
kind of.
Yep, yeah, they're really nice. Yep.
Yeah, and so it was quite nice to have those points of reference, because they have the same boat, so they kind of have the same constraints. It's a fiberglass as well, so very, very nice people and very good source of information. Yeah.
Nice. How was then you went on your first big ocean crossing? How was it to sail across the Atlantic?
It was so now we have two crossings, the Atlantic and half of the Pacific, and I can tell you that the Atlantic was much easier. We had like a perfect crossing. No
nice.
really good winds, except maybe at the beginning, but otherwise it was really smooth. Nothing to complain, to be honest. It was really a good crossing, and not too. So we were a bit scared, I'd say, about the length of the crossing, but we didn't get bored or anything. It was just nice to be there, and we could have continued for days if we didn't arrive there. We were really lucky with the weather on that section.
Yeah. And what was your first point of landfall?
So we did when we left. We didn't do it in one go. So we left from Brittany and stopped shortly in Spain because there was a big low coming. And when it passed, we sailed to Madeira, then Cabo Verde, and then straight to the south of Brazil.
Nice.
We just same thing. It was just because of a big system coming, so we just sheltered there, waited for a week, celebrated Christmas, and then we left for the last section to Mar del Plata, which is in the middle of Argentina, more or less, more in the north side, and that's where we kind of stopped, tried to make the last provision for the final section, and finally we sailed along the coast and entered the bigger channel, which is in the south part of Patagonia, where you have Ushuaia and those nice places.
So you came at the beginning of the winter in the southern hemisphere?
Yes, a bit earlier. So
Bit earlier.
I think we arrived in February.
Okay.
So it was the end of summer down there, and so kind of autumn, more or less.
Right. And how was the weather?
It was pretty good. The first days were, well, it's always it changes all the time, but from a broader point of view, no, it was pretty good. The autumn in the Beagle Channel in Tierra del Fuego.
Mm-hmm.
It's known to be a really good time to be there because you have some much more calm days and sunny days than in summer. And even though the days are short, it's really nice to sail there during that time of year.
Yep.
But we didn't really know that actually when we arrived. That's something we discovered. We were quite happy to find that out.
So it was you got a smooth welcoming in the first period of your stay.
Yeah. Well, we took a few beatings as well, but in general, it was really nice.
Yeah. And how, because starting a cruise in that area, because in the autumn and winter coming, how was that? Did you have a base or did you just go out to explore?
Oh no, so in the south you have on the Argentinian side, so you have a Beagle Channel, which is in the south.
Mm-hmm.
South of the channel is the Chilean islands, and north is more or less Argentina. So you have Ushuaia on one side and on the Argentinian side, and you have Puerto Williams in the Chilean side. So that was our base for the first, I think, 3-4 months. We provisioned there, and then we did our first loop around Isla Gordon, which is on the Chilean side. We did 3 months around the island. That's a really beautiful place. You have glaciers, nice, great hikes, great wildlife, anything you want. So we spent our first 3 Patagonian months were around this island. Then we went back to Puerto Williams, crossed to Ushuaia for the provisioning for the visas as well, because we were not Chileans, so we have to renew our tourist visa every 3 months. So that's how we did it. Over there you can just leave the country for a day and come back, and you're good to go for 3 more months.
Nice.
And then we started again from Puerto Williams and went to the Wollaston Hermit Archipelago. So that's where you have Cape Horn and those stuff. So we always have one small base and we live for several months every time. And same further north. Even though you have less, you have almost no towns north, you still find a way to use one as a base and provision, renew the visa, and then leave again.
Right. And as I understand, you can take approximately 4 months of provisioning on the Bahia for 2 people?
For 2 people. And so it's mostly dry food and canned food, but because the fresh food runs out pretty quick.
Yeah.
But for 4 months, it's we never actually did 4 months. The max we did was a bit more than 3 months. But that's good. I mean, it's the great thing there is that during the fishing season, you have fishers. The only people you come across are fishers, and they always, I guess it's the same in Norway or in most parts of the world, remote places at least. And they just give you the catch of the day, and it brightens a little bit the dinner for the night.
Yeah. Nice. Because, you spent some time in those fishing villages, didn't you?
Not
some villages.
So, yeah, some of not a long time, but every time. Yeah, no, honestly, we didn't spend a lot of time in towns and villages. Every time we get a chance to escape and go back to wild places, we go. But sometimes we had to because of the weather mostly. But I used to work in marine biology and fisheries management, so that's something I really like to talk with fishers, and so that's a great place to talk about those things over there in Chile.
Nice. I read your article in Yachting World. Yachting world, yeah, really
Yes.
good. Yeah. And in the area around Cape Horn, you stayed 8 days in the same place at
Yes.
one time because in Puerto Maxwell.
Yes. That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah, that's just a small. That's an anchorage. That's pretty close to Cape Horn. It's known to be safe, so we just went there. It was in winter, yeah. And until then, we had very very good weather. But then we saw a series of flows coming from the west, and we understood we were gonna stay there for a while. So yeah, we just put lines on shore. I think we had like 8 or 9 because it was 60 knots for almost 8 days. 8 days.
Jeez.
Uh, so yeah, quite. It was a bit long, but good experience because we managed to go on shore and watch the storm from above, which was quite something.
Cool. Well, how do you spend your days when you're stuck for 8 days in a place where there's absolutely nothing or no one?
Uh, not doing much. Oh, just yeah, I don't know. I think at the time we're reading, eating, preparing stuff, and trying to go on shore whenever we could. We didn't happen very often, but because the dinghy was like flipping, and well, you know how it is. So yeah, that's what we did for 8 days, and it was no, it was our first big storm. So you it wasn't boring at all, even though you had to almost stay there in the boat for 8 days. Just watch the trees shake like crazy and the water become white. So it's a good. It was a really impressive and interesting show for us.
Yeah, sounds like a good life.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I don't complain.
No, no, I can see that by your smile. But how do you define that safe anchorage in Patagonia when we're talking 60 knots of wind? And how do you anchor?
Oh,
You said you had, yeah.
yeah. Well, we everybody does the same thing over there. So you just most of the time you drop the anchor in a small. It's called caletas. So it's a small cove basically, and you drop the anchor, and then someone, now in that case, goes to shore, put some lines to the trees, stern lines mostly, and depending on the what's expected from the wind, from the what you see from the place, if it looks sheltered or not, you add more lines. But in most cases, yeah, you just have the anchor and 2, maybe 3 lines on shore, and with that, in general, it's super safe and very very comfortable. It can be blowing, I don't know, 50 knots outside, and it just touches the mast, but doesn't go, hitting the boat itself. So it's very very comfortable. You always have good ones and average ones, but these are quite well known, so you just adapt to the weather and to what you want to do, and that's what's great about Patagonia in general. It's especially the southern part. You have really really well sheltered acreage everywhere, so you don't have to go and sail big stretches of fjords to go to the next one. It's whenever you can, you always have one anchorage. I don't know, 5 to 10 miles away from the last
That's
one. So
nice.
that's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. Like, how did you know about all these anchorages? Did you use the Blue Bible, as it's called?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we use this one, which is pretty good. It's quite, it's not exhaustive, of course, but it's quite complete. Especially, you have some sections that don't have much information, but for the most one, it's a really really good source.
Yeah.
And we also like to go to other places. So we like to ask fishermen, for example, so they know the place much better than anyone. So pretty great to have those information as well, and other guides. I think we used a few times the RCC guide.
Yep.
Because they have sections that are not well covered in the Blue Book.
Yeah, but for those who doesn't know it, the Blue Bible, as it's called, it's a Italian couple that spent 11 years cruising around in Patagonia and Terra del Fuego.
Yeah,
Something
I
like
don't
that.
remember how many years, but a long time, yeah.
Yeah, and they wrote a guide for the area, which is quite thick. It's the most expensive book I've ever bought.
Yeah,
But,
I don't know how much it is now, but it must be expensive, yeah.
I found it on eBay, and it was $350 because
No.
I think it's run out of print. So you can sell it with an advance.
Oh, I'm gonna be rich.
Yeah, you're gonna be rich. No.
They did a great job because from what we understood, they gathered information from all the sailors that were sailing the fjords at the time, and they made it a guide that they complemented with time, and it was it's good, really good source of information for that. I think it's probably the best.
What did you do about communication? Because you have to report every day, don't you?
Yes, and the thing is that you don't have many. So it's all the navigation over there is managed by the Armada, so the Chilean army, and they don't have many. They are only stationed in the small towns and a few lighthouses, but in most part, the radio doesn't arrive there. So you can't contact them with the classic VHF, and unless you have an HF, you have to use either the Iridium or any other ways of communicating. Like many people now are using Starlink, but at the time we only had the Iridium, so we just sent an email every time we arrived in new places with the coordinates, how long we plan on staying there. And that's it every day. So it seems annoying, but it's not too bad. And but it was alright. And the Chilean person, like the people working there, they're just super nice and very understanding. They don't put any pressure on you or anything. You know, it's quite. It was quite nice. I was. How can I say that? I was I didn't know what to expect from that, but ultimately it turned out to be pretty all good. No, we didn't have any problem with them, and it was super nice actually to talk to them as well.
Cool. Because you chose to not have Starlink for Patagonia, didn't you?
Yeah, and it was more expensive. It still is to have the Iridium than the Starlink. And we choose not to because we wanted to not to be on the computer all day. With the Iridium you don't stay that long on internet. It doesn't work really well.
No, that's quite boring.
Yeah. So we had everything we need with that. So we had the weather and we had the emails and that was enough.
Yep. Cool. How's the weather forecasting down there?
It's pretty good. All the lows coming. You can see them coming like a few days before, so you can adapt accordingly. And maybe the wind speed is something you learn how to interpret the forecast, because the gusts are definitely the normal wind, but what's forecasted as gust is actual normal wind. Especially, I remember in the Magellan Strait, it was in October, which is the worst month to do this stretch. And we had, it was forecasted like 15 knots, so perfect. But we never had less than 25 for a month, so it was quite different. But apart from that, it's quite reliable.
Yeah, but I've been sailing a lot in the fjords in Norway, and that's exercise in itself, isn't it? I guess it's the same down in Patagonia when the wind funnels through and
yeah. You in some cases you can you know what to expect, but sometimes you think it's gonna come from the south, but with the mountains and the snow and other stuff, you don't really understand. It comes straight in your head. So yeah, you have those surprises, but you get used to it after some time.
and yeah, I guess you get used to it and you learn to interpret the landscape a little bit, so you have a vague idea what's going to happen around the next corner or something.
Yeah, more or less. But when comes the time you think you understand how it works, something else happens and everything falls apart.
Did you have any sketchy moments during your 1.5 year down there?
Yeah, a few, but not so many, because we had a lot of time, so we timed our sailings with good windows. We didn't have to sail in bad weather. So when it happened, it was mostly because it was in the beginning, because we put too much confidence in the forecast. And that's when I told you, 15, 30 instead of 15. So you get some surprises like this. We damaged a shroud. We tore 2 sails during that sailing, but apart from that, wasn't too bad, because we were always sailing in under 25 knots headwinds, but still it was all right.
Okay. How did you fix the shroud and sail problem?
The shroud, we didn't fix it. So we sailed like I think it was 10 months with that damage. We are still sailing with it, actually.
Okay.
So yeah, maybe not a good example, but yeah,
it works.
And when we get to a more to a place where you have I don't know how you call that, like the people who work on the shrouds and
riggers.
Yes.
Sailmaker and riggers. Yep.
That's it. We don't have any. We didn't see any riggers since we have this thing. So yeah. And the sail, we put it back together. We have some repairs kit, and that's all right. Took a few days, but it was bad weather anyway, so we didn't have much else to do.
Because down in Patagonia, you have to be self-reliant, right? There's nothing.
No.
Pretty much.
In some sections, you're really on your own. In others, it's all right, especially in the north. But yeah, in the south, in the channels, you have to have a minimum of spare parts and skills to repair at least enough, good enough to allow you to go back to a safe place.
Yep. And sailing a 35 feet boat, you have a limited amount of diesel and water capacity, I would guess.
Yeah, well, in most, but we actually built bigger tanks, because we knew, we thought we would need a lot of diesel, but we have for our engine, which I think it takes 1.5 liters per hour, so it's not too much. And nice. We have more than 300 liters on board, almost 400. So that's how and we didn't use much, because we're mostly sailing, even though it's headwind, we can't motor against the wind if it's more than like 12 knots. It's quite weak.
Okay.
So we have no choice.
Yeah.
And the only time
you have to say,
the only time we used the engine was in the fjords, in the ice, when it's when there is zero wind, usually. And most of the time we sail. So we didn't need that much capacity, but it was always nice to know you have enough for the remaining of the trip. And as of the water, we also have about 600 liters of capacity, which is quite big for our boat.
It is very big.
And
it is bigger than this boat. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's very nice in ocean crossings because you don't have to worry too much about the water. But in Patagonia, that was way overkill, way too much, because you actually have water everywhere. You have in most anchorages, you have a river, or it's raining, so you can always collect that. So that was too much. We didn't have any problem with water.
In one of your videos, I saw that you were catching water from a waterfall, and there was a hose there that looks like it was pre-rigged, not by you, but by someone else.
Yeah, that's the fishermen who they installed that because they work the same stretch of the fjords that we sail, and they know the places and the good spots. So yeah, I think the part you saw, it was in the Gulf of the Penas thing, and it's quite a big famous spot for fishermen, and you can see that because it's very, very well equipped. It's almost like a marina over there.
Ah, right. Okay. And that's where you had the part where you showed the fishermen who collected the mussels and did the smoked mussels?
Yeah.
Was that the same?
I think it's another one.
Yeah.
It's further south.
Ah, right.
But they do it everywhere.
Okay. Ah, right. Nice. That looks delicious and cool to watch the process.
No, it was really good.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, and talking of diesel, because I know you didn't use much, because I like that at the end of every of your videos, you have collected, you see the path you sailed and how much diesel you actually used, and it's not a lot, and you even separate from the heating and the cooking.
Yeah,
so it's really cool that you do that. Yep.
Yeah, well, thanks. I like to know how much we use that in every stretch, and yeah, we were cooking with the stove almost only, because we had a problem with the propane cooker.
Okay.
It was complicated to refill the tanks in Chile. So we only cooked with the diesel, and it worked quite well. Quite happy with the whole system.
Yeah. So you have a what kind of heater you have?
It's the Reflex, the small one.
Ah, nice. Same as the one I have behind me here, with a cooktop.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Works perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah. Nice.
Kind of few downdrafts sometimes, but that's all right.
Yeah, gets a little bit smoky on the wrong angle, but that's all right. You were talking about this, it was quite remote. For how many days could you go? And what's the longest period you went without seeing any other boats or people?
Well, any other boats, I couldn't tell, but any other sailboat, it was about like 5 or 6 months, I think, between between Puerto Williams and Puerto Natales, basically, which is it took us 5 months to get there. So that's probably it for as far as sailboats are concerned. And then occasionally we saw fishing boats, especially during the Centolla season. So it's the king crab season. They fish that down south.
Ah, right.
And during that time of year, you see boats everywhere, fishers and the launches who make the trip between the fishers and the land. So you saw some, but most of the time you don't share the anchorage with them, because there are so many anchorages and so few boats that you don't get together very often. But when you do, it's always a great welcome, and they invite you on the boat, give you tons of fish or whatever they're fishing, and it's always nice to have them around. Yeah.
So cool. And you both speak Spanish? Or
Now struggles a little bit, but she got better at the end.
yeah,
And yeah, she's watching me. And
yeah, I can tell. Yeah,
and I speak also a little bit Spanish, so we managed to. I mean, I can have a conversation with someone in Spanish for a few hours. Then my brain gets a little bit tired.
okay. Yeah. Do the locals down there speak much English, or is it you should? Yeah,
It's just English.
You should know Spanish. Yeah,
Sorry, just Spanish.
just Spanish. Yeah. And also the Armada.
Armada, it's most people just speak Spanish, and those who speak English, I prefer to speak Spanish because I understand the Spanish better than the English.
Yeah. Okay.
And
So that's a good excuse.
Yeah.
Good excuse to learn Spanish.
Yeah, no, it's
going to Patagonia.
It's quite important actually to learn Spanish, at least the basics before you get there, because most people don't speak English, and they do appreciate when you make the effort of speaking the Spanish. So, yeah.
Did the trip to Patagonia live up to both of your expectations?
Yeah, probably more than that actually, because we've been to Patagonia before, but by from the land, so we knew the mainland, and before coming by boat, we thought we had a good idea of what Patagonia looked like, because we spent in total we over there we had spent already a year almost, but just on mainland.
Oh, yep.
But arriving by boat, it's something completely different. It's more wild. The landscape is different. The weather is different. It's just great. So yeah, it definitely did live up to our expectations. And
yeah, do you have any highlights that has stuck especially, or is it just 500 plus days of pure excitement?
Yeah, probably the second one. Yeah, I don't have any single spot I like the most, but I know I prefer the southern part of Chile. So of Patagonia, which is south of Golfo de Penas. It's because for me it's more wild. It's just mountains and glaciers and fjords everywhere, and you have just that. No people, no salmon farms, which you can find a lot in the north. So almost no salmon farms, no human activity. So it's kind of almost pristine, and that's the thing that interested me about this place. And then I know places that we couldn't get to because of the weather or because of time. And those are places we didn't visit, and I really want to go back there and have a look.
So you want to come back?
Yeah, I'd like to one day. But right now we're gonna enjoy French Polynesia. But hopefully, one day we'll go back.
So cool, because you're a surfer, and you also do free diving.
Yeah, well, I surf and I free dive, but I'm not really good at either of those.
You're not paid. Yeah, no, that's okay. And now I'm not sure if you call it. I'm guessing you're calling yourself a sailor now. You sail more than most people.
Yeah, but I don't know. I only know my sailboat. I don't know anything about other people's sailboats, so I don't know. I wouldn't give any advice to anyone about anything related to sailing because of that. I just have experience with mine.
But and you're also. Did you say you were a marine biologist? Yeah. So you're pretty much connected to the ocean.
Yeah.
What does the ocean mean to you?
Whoa. No, I don't know, but I've been around the sea since. So I grew up in French Polynesia. So I guess that has something to do with it. Couldn't tell you what it means or that, but yeah. I think I would be very sad if I wasn't around the ocean for a while.
Yeah. So you actually sailed home?
Yeah. Took a while, but yeah.
Nice. And that was the plan?
Yeah, that was the plan.
Via Patagonia?
Yeah. Well, technically
Yep.
we aren't exactly home because we are in the Gambia island, and I'm from the other side, and French Polynesia is quite big. It's the size of Europe, roughly.
Quite big, yeah. Yep. Is it the size of
Yeah,
Europe?
it's a big archipelago.
Nice. Yeah, cool. So how long are you gonna spend in French Polynesia?
We're gonna stay around 2 years, we hope. So no more snow or no more ice for 2 years. We're going to work because we need to make a little bit of money before hopefully sailing to other places.
Yep. Okay. So you're gonna work in French Polynesia?
Yeah, and we'll do our best to also visit the islands. So we don't know exactly how it's gonna work, but hopefully we'll be able to explore a little bit French Polynesia.
Yeah. Not movie plans, but with all the footage. Do you have any more video plans?
No, just I'm just doing the YouTube thing, and that's it, because it takes a lot of time, and I'm pretty bad with communication and marketing and contacting those things. So yeah, I'm just gonna stick with the YouTube videos.
Okay. Yeah. So we can expect more from you guys, even if you don't work.
Yeah. I still have a few videos to edit for Patagonia, and then I hope to make a few of the French Polynesia, and as well the crossing as well.
Yeah, nice.
So yeah, but it's always I'm very slow at editing and putting all those things together. So yeah, hopefully it's gonna come at some point.
Yeah, no, because some of the footage, or most of the footage, is just amazing and very inspiring. I have to ask, how many drones did you spend?
0. Well, I just have. I didn't crash any, so I was very happy with that.
That's a new record, I think. I've
Yeah,
been
no,
around a lot of photographers, and especially sailing, and they burn through those as
Yeah. No, it's after a while you get used to it, and I know the drone by heart, so I know when to get it back. And I had a few close calls, but every time it went back in one piece and dry, so it's all good.
Cool, very good. Okay. How was the crossing to French Polynesia? If we can,
it was good.
Yep.
It was a bit more complicated than the Atlantic, because basically you sit between the trades in the north and the roaring fjords in the south, and in between the wind is always shifting and quite weak, and the seas are, it's not so great. So we had to sail really, really north to get some wind, and then head west. It was a lot of work. I don't really like those conditions, when you have very little wind and choppy seas. It's not fun. You hear and I didn't want to use the engine, so we spent a few days just floating at the surface and rolling all day. Apart from that, it was quite a good crossing, and the good thing is that it gets easier as you sail west. At the beginning, you're still in Chile, you have a Humboldt current, so it's choppy seas, cold water, and the more you go, the more you get closer to French Polynesia, the easier it gets. And at the end, it was just super smooth and perfect.
Yeah. What kind of inside tip would you give to someone who wants to sail to Patagonia?
I don't know. Just get a good stove good rigging, and you're good to go, I guess.
Simple as that. That's good. Yeah. I like that.
No, it's true. I mean, I reckon people too often believe you need like an expedition boat to get to those places, but it's definitely not true. And also the advice I would give would to take as much time as possible, because it's really worth it. I think it's a bit of a shame when you just sail through the channels without really stopping or just rushing against the wind. It's you miss a lot when you do that. So if you can just take as much time as possible.
Yeah, and that's something coming from you who has spent over 500 days down there.
Yeah,
you should have spent more. Most of the people down there just spend some short summer season or something. But I definitely see your point. Yep. Definitely see your point.
I would have sailed longer if I could.
Yeah.
Just there's so much. You could spend a lifetime sailing the fjords and still not knowing everything. So just a great playground for sailing.
Cool. Thank you so much for taking the time, Lauric. It was really nice talking to you. And hopefully you should come to Norway so I can have someone compare, because everyone says that Patagonia and Norway looks like Patagonia, but it's not that wild, and you see a lot of more people, I can guarantee you that, but you can also spend a lifetime up here. So yeah,
it's also beautiful out there. I'd like to go back there one day, but yeah, it's not gonna be in the next 5 years. I'm afraid.
No. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
And enjoy your time there.
Thanks. Really appreciate it.
Hi again, sailors, and thank you for listening to this podcast. You will find more podcasts on explorenorth.no, both in Norwegian and in English. If you want to know more about sailing in cold waters, I can highly recommend, without blushing, the book I wrote together with Bob Shepton. It's called, surprise, surprise, High Latitude Sailing, Self-Sufficient Sailing Techniques for Cold Waters and Winter Seasons. It covers pretty much everything you need to know to get out sailing the whole year round and sailing to remote places in the world. You'll find it, you can buy the book on explorenorth.no, on Amazon, or have your bookstore order it. If you're interested in Svalbard, I also wrote Sail to Svalbard. You can buy them at the same places. So please don't hesitate to contact me if you have any questions at all. You'll find me on explorenorth.no. In the meantime, go out sailing.